Are you looking for a faster video? Well, today it's a live stream, and I know you're probably looking for a really nice and tidy, edited down video, but I have ways for you to make it faster. You can click that little gear on the YouTube settings right there on the video and adjust the playback speed, make me sound like a chipmunk, and it'll go a lot faster. You can also look and see if there's timestamps for this project in the description, and if you're on a desktop, you can hover over the time bar at the bottom of the screen and see if it's chunked up into chapters, and then that way you can go directly to the step you're looking for. And lastly, you can also tap on the screen on the right hand side of the video picture or on the left hand side to make the video jump ahead, forward or backward if you're on a mobile device. And you can adjust that amount in settings so you can have complete control over how much it jumps. So if you are on a desktop, you can use the fast forward or the rewind, and that will make it go faster as well. You can also enable subtitles, and the little CC on the screen will enable closed captioning. That way, if I am a little bit harder to understand with that double playback speed, the subtitles might help you out. All right, well, I know that it's not a nice little edited video, but if you sew with me, we'll get there together and it'll be lots of fun. And now for the live stream. Happy sewing! Hello, happy Saturday. How's it going? Hi, Malin. Hey, Delwyn, that is awesome. I'm really glad you're feeling better too. Hi, Aisha. Hey, Terry. How are you? How are you? Okay, I pledge to not put my stream ending screen when I go to iron today. Sorry about that. I moved it back to where it was so that I don't accidentally click it this time. Hey, Shim, how's it going? All right, so I'm just pinning this so I don't lose it because, man, this little like cloth for, oh, it's on the wrong side. This little cloth for keeping your glasses clean is kind of like, it's slippery. And I'll tell you what I did here. But of course, now it's cut wrong because I cut it for this side. Of course, right? Anytime you're doing your own pattern, there's always little unforeseen things. I'm going to tuck that in there like that. Hey, Libby. Hello, Justine. How's it going? Hey, Margaret. All right, so I kind of feel like the camera is kind of wonky. It feels like also it's very orange, right? I don't know if I can combat that, but I feel like the angle is just weird. I'm gonna go like this and like this. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too, Terry. I was about to panic and I was like, you know what? It's not a panic type of day. I'm saying no to panic. And why would I panic over that, right? All right, we're just gonna zoom in a little bit. And then, can we get rid of some of this sweet potato color? No, we're leaving it. Okay. Just say no to panic. Yeah, right, Shem? Yeah, and you know, hopefully if you're doing such a big project, you kind of cut and sew most of one, so you kind of go through it, because you know, that's what you would normally be doing. But you know, if you're only making one, you don't need more than one, and you don't need to like sell the pattern or share the pattern with anybody. It's kind of hard to go through all of that, right, for just one. So and it's partly why I spend a lot of time like putting all of the pieces, like getting them ready to sew together. You know, like we did all of our pockets. We did so much prep And that's because that way you can kind of think about things as they're coming. So the sweet potato color, yeah. Yeah, it's a little, it's definitely like sweet potato-y, but it's, in person, it's more like Carhartt. It's a little duller. This looks a little oranger on camera, so. Oh, that's awesome, Terry. I haven't ordered from them, but I know Sydney really likes Cali fabrics, especially for, like, she likes getting the brand fabrics that Under Armour and Nike get. So, hey, Janet, welcome. How's it going? Okay, so I had already hemmed my pocket, and then Shem reminded me, hey, maybe don't you want to put like a little eyeglass cloth in there to kind of protect the lenses? And so I grabbed one I had, you know, just over there in the drawer. I have a bunch of them, and just cut it to fit here. I replaced one, or I removed one line of stitches just so it's less to fix. So I'm just going to put this back in right now, and we'll be back on track kind of with this guy. And then we can attach this bib too. There we go. We can attach the bib. All right, and so the other thing I'll go over today is doing a side button tab if you want on your overalls as well. Hey, Suzanne. That's awesome. Yeah, I haven't ordered from there either, and I keep forgetting about them. You know, wouldn't it be awesome if we, in the guild, we had like because we have a fabrics topic, and if you're ever looking for something in the guild that you know that you saw a conversation about, maybe you were like, oh, like me, this is often like I'll see a lot of chatter and it's getting late for me, and I'm like, you know what, I'm not going to chime in on this because my head's not really, like, I'm a little tired or whatever. And also it's like 10:30 at night. Do I really need to be working all the time? So, but then in the morning, I can't find the post that I want to comment on. But if I know what it was about, you can go at the top of the guild, and there's a little magnifying glass, and you can just put in a word, and it'll pull up all the posts with that word. Just be careful, you don't want to put sewing in there, you know. But you can put Cali fabrics in there, and you can find all the chatter about Cali fabrics. So, oh, tennis skirts. Oh, yeah. I got my SPF fabric from Rocky Woods in Colorado, and it's nice. It's exactly what I was hoping it would be. My only issue with ordering from them is, like, the thing is, like, I don't want to say negative things because I really appreciate anyone selling outerwear fabrics or any kinds of performance fabrics. But, you know, like, I don't know what side is the face of that fabric, and that's really important with things like that are technical or performance driven. You need to know what side is the technical side. Crazily though, like waterproof fabrics, waterproof breathable fabrics, they're actually more effective inside out, but we don't wear them that way. We're wearing with the face on the outside, the more attractive side. So, so I would like to know that, and especially since, you know, like, I am gonna pre-wash them just because I think it's a really good idea to wash your fabrics because you just don't know where they've been, and there is stuff on them. You just don't know what's gonna happen, so you might as well just find out before you start cutting and sewing. It's not just about shrinkage. And I know now that it's like, okay, once I do that, will I even be able to tell what I think is the right side after that? Because all I'm going by is the little holes on the selvage, you know? You know how sometimes there's those little tiny needle holes along the selvage? And I always think the side that looks like the pin's been pushed down, the top, that's the top side. And I could be wrong. Hey, Rebecca, how's it going? Nice, welcome. We're just finishing up. I make it sound like we have 5 minutes left, but we're finishing up some overalls, and they're kind of an ambitious project. But we did a lot on Thursday. They were all giving me a hard time for that, but I think you're going to appreciate how much I did on Thursday because there's still a lot to do. So yeah, all right. So I cut a couple of pieces of fabric, and I just did a couple of rectangles. And this is if you want a side button tab on your overalls. And this piece here, I think this is a little bit overkill. Like, I think this is pretty wide. But I think it's also a nice size, and so it'll be folded in half, and then there's seam allowance, and so that would roughly be the finished width. So this piece here that I cut it's almost 4 inches wide, and then the length I chose was kind of long, but I chose it to go the entire length of the side seam of the bib. So my bib, the side comes up pretty high, and he doesn't need a button closure to get, I really wish I would stop touching my foot pedal. He doesn't need the button tab to get him on and off, but I'm going to put him in just so we can sew in together. There's a lot of ways to do this, and I'm just going to try and keep it really simple. You may have different constraints on yours because I'm fully lining my bib. The back is not lined, but I think I can keep this pretty simple so that you kind of understand kind of the gist of it. And I'm going to give you some tips on how to put it in no matter what, like whatever setup you have going on. I'm hoping I can. So we'll see. All right. So let's put the bib pocket on. We're just going to finish putting all of the elements. So far this is where we're at. These are my reinforced knees, so we're going to also add those right now. Right now we have the pants the fronts are pretty much, you know, almost there, right? We have the front pockets here. We have the side pocket. We had to partially sew it because it straddles the seam, and I didn't want to go through the hand pocket. It has a fake fly. So I'm going to add the reinforced knees right now. And then this is the back. I think this is a piece of scrap fabric. Yeah. That I want to keep, actually. Here's the back. So I've only put the back pockets on the back. That's about all I've done there. Yeah. And then I did one other thing. Oh, I made the strap. Where'd the strap go? Oh, it's right here. I made this strap right here. So I'm lining mine, and those are ready to go. And I'm kind of just like feeling it out as I go. Sometimes I just like sew a little bit, and then I'm like, I'm gonna like do a little bit more here, do a little bit more here, and then it starts coming together when it's something I don't have like a concrete order of operations. So, all right, so let's put the bib and the front legs. I don't have a bin right here, so it's like kind of wild, wild west over there. I cut an extra piece of fabric to go behind this kind of thin linen. I'm a little nervous about it. I will admit. Okay. All right, so here is my little bib. The stuff is so weird. It's so hard to pin it. I was trying to pin it and before I went live, and I just couldn't get the pin to go through, so I had to go live and then go back to it. I was like, oh, I can't do this. All right, so I'm going to center it over my marks there. And just put a few pins in here and get these out from under there. I've never washed this little eyeglass cloth though, so fingers crossed it doesn't do anything weird. Yeah, it's not that different. But yeah, this is the Sea Bright canvas from Hearts Fabric. It's only $15 a yard, I think, and it's in the Canyon color. Yeah, it's the Canyon color. Maybe the face cam shows it a little better. Yeah, I feel like the face cam is really good. Yeah, it's awesome. He loved it. Like when I said, you know, what are you thinking of the color of your overalls, you know? And you can't just like tell a non-sewist, like, what color do you want? Because it's a little overwhelming. And so I just kind of said, do you want denim? Do you want like a jeans kind of thing? Do you want a Carhartt look? Do you want a canvas look like navy blue or black or dark brown? And then I said right afterwards, I was like, it'd be nice if it wasn't black or a really dark denim for the cameras. And he was instantly like, oh, I love the idea of it, like a Carhartt canvas type of thing. And so I narrowed it down to, they have a ton of colors in this canvas. I narrowed it down to a pine color, which was like a deep forest green. I thought would be awesome for outdoor overalls. A brown and the canyon. And he instantly was like, I want that. So it was pretty easy, thankfully. Okay, so we have some guidance on the pocket stitching. Let me grab the overalls that, like, when he put them on. Oh, sorry, my necklace is hitting the microphone. This is like my go-to necklace lately, but it doesn't like the microphone. This is, they look like a little toddler swim play suit thing. All right, so see, I have this little bit of a gusset right here going on in my pocket, and I didn't create any of that with the pattern, so I think I'm just going to do it on the thing, on the actual. All right, so we want the pin pocket right here. And then I'm going to put another pin right here. And I'm going to move this over like that, which is actually going to make my pocket now not centered. So I have a hair right here. There we go. So let's put that there and that there. And we're just going to have to deal with that right now. So if this is more like this, a little bit less, you know, actually I'm not going to bias that because of the point. I think optically it's going to still look pretty straight, you know? Yeah, right, Aisha. I think, and you know, like, some people might be suspicious when you do that, because I've had people say, why are you suggesting those? Is it because they're easier to work with or whatever? And I feel like going, so what if it is easier to work with? There's nothing wrong with that. But I just tell them, I'm like, oh, well, here are your options. And as soon as you start saying, these are all the options you have, they kind of get a little overwhelmed, just like we would, you know. Yeah, exactly, Terry, right? Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I did that for my sister because I wanted to make her kids some jammies and little slippers. And I said, okay, well, how about this? How about you guys just go to Spoonflower? It's kind of cruel, right? Go to Spoonflower, and I said, and just tell me what they like. And I said, you know, like, I can tell you all these other fabric stores, but the thing is, I think they're going to like things that are more like object driven, like print wise. And so, and on Spoonflower, you can get any base you want. So they can pick whatever print they want. And then I can order the fabric and the base I want. And so it kind of helped. Hey, Nathmi, how's it going? Wait, Nathmi, what's your name again? Did you tell me your name? Oh, no, it was the other person that told me their name. Yeah, exactly, Shim. Yeah, and she actually, they got back to me within like a minute. And I was like, how'd you do that? And so they did like Dungeons and Dragons and, well, I can't remember what cats. Yeah, you really got to hem yourself in. All right, so I'm just going to do the perimeter right now. I think I might have to deal with these little threads though. It's kind of a problem. I don't like that. Usually what I like to do is fold down a little corner like this. Like if I exaggerated it, it'd be like this and then turn it. But I don't actually think I can do that. I don't have much seam allowance here. And I don't want to lose any width. So I'm gonna fix it when I go back up there. So I'm just gonna start along the edge here. I'm going to do a double row of stitching. I just need to move these like over there. Where's this? Okay, there it is. That's the little cloth. I'm just going to tuck this in here. I was recording a video, an instructional video for hours yesterday, and I feel like I'm a little bit still in that mode. And I'm trying to tone it down, you know, like, all right, you're looking for this right here, and make sure you're doing this, and this is what your hand feels like, and blah, blah, blah. And I know you guys like that, but at the same time, it can be a little overwhelming in a live stream. I started getting a little punchy during it too. Like I was starting to say kind of silly things. I was like, you need to rein it in, Saremy, come on. Oh, that's awesome, Terry. He was disappointed. Well, you know what? They can buy it themselves, right? Oh, yeah. Natalie. Okay, great. Thank you. I'll try and remember that. See, same thing. I have all these little threads on this. The canvas is so thready, you know. You know, Shem, do you ever, because I've had to, you know, I had a factory, so we had a lot of stuff, and we would store some of it in like really far away. Like sometimes, you know, I guess the home equivalent would be, do you have a garage? And you can put some of it in your garage. Oh, I feel like that was one stitch too far there. Oh. Ow. I want to gusset. Wham. No. I want to create room for the glasses that are going in this pocket. Dang, that's already really locked in on stitches wise. I'm just going to gusset it at the top, not at the bottom. So let's just take a few stitches out so I can do that. I feel like I'm about to put these back in. Because we would do that and we would just write on the outside of the box what it was, you know, and then it was really easy too because I always used to joke at the factory, like when I had the factory, that my main job was getting rid of stuff. And I just meant like on all fronts, like I'm trying to sell product, right? So I'm getting rid of that. I'm trying to use materials, use notions constantly. And so it was just always like managing stuff all the time, you know? And so like say you'd go through a bundle of zipper and then you'd get another one. I wouldn't just like take the new one out of the box and then put the box back. I would always be reorganizing all of our notions so they were really easy to find, because the worst is like when I would buy, I'd be like, God, I really thought we had more of this, and then buy it again, you know? So, especially with things like sew-in labels. You don't need all 10,000 sew-in labels right next to the sewing machine, you know? But those boxes were so tiny, like, you know, they would put, 2,000 labels in a box like this big, and it's really easy to lose a box like that in a factory. Oh, yes. Well, we used to put things on garden hose hangers for things like that. 144 yards of 1-inch elastic, that's like this. I know exactly what that size is, right? And we also had spool holders on the wall. We had like a notions table, and then we had the zipper on the hose hang out. Zipper is really terrible to wrangle. It's like one of the worst things I've ever had to untangle when it goes awry. All right, so I'm just going to take out a little corner. So if I were engineering this pocket, I would have probably, in fact, now that I think about it, I should have put like maybe a pleat or a gusset on this side so that I'm not going to be forcing it like this. I'm going to lift this up and do that. Just a little bit. But, you know, someone shared in the guild yesterday, that was Michelle, I think. shared her eyeglass holder on her pocket. I thought that was genius. Like the fact that it worked that good. I've seen things like that and they work okay, you know. So I'm just going to do a little bit. It's going to look a little crooked. You might be sewing 10,000 garments at once. What? We were. I can relate to that. Those stitches look so wiggly. I think that's the canvas doing that. All right, so now I'm at this messy little thing here. I'm gonna shove that in there. It's gonna shove all those little threads in there, like that, and I'm gonna try and sew across the top to secure it. One extra stitch there. All right. All right, so this side here, the little cloth ends. So we want to make sure we get a nice parallel line. This gray looks crazy on here. Oh, those pins. Little fake bar tack at the top there. And then this one we'll make flat here. This one, it's about one and a half as well. All right. Like right here. Okay. There we go. He has a little easier way to stick his eyeglasses in there. Hey, Elena, how's it going? Elena, you know, I thought of you. Someone in the guild posted about 3D printed sewing accessories. I don't know if you saw that, but I thought of you. You feel crazy, you have 3. Yeah, I have quite a few going. All right, that looks pretty cute. Does it look very crooked to you? Let's see, maybe if I can get this straight on with the camera. Not too bad, huh? Cut these threads. All right. Oh, this won't even show. It's lined. All right, so I think I'm going to add a little bit of interfacing to this little spot here on the back side because this is going to have the buttonholes on it, right? Yes. Yeah, I kind of figured, but I just thought it would be something you'd be kind of like, let's store that in the back of the mind, you know? All right, so let's deal with our little flappy here thing, and then we're also gonna put our bib together here. So let's just start working on the side thingy. Right, Shem, exactly. Jeans, shirt for your wife, and you've been testing bras for fit. Ooh, hey, Randy, can I call you Randy, RG? How's it going? I put it on the Serger thing? Yeah, I did. You're never gonna let me live that down. So I'm going to put this on the outer fabric, and I just put a little piece of interfacing kind of, it's kind of wide, but I think that'll be okay. If you have a fabric that this is going to show, the interfacing line is going to show, I'll show you what I do. I got this tip from that Angela Wolf video about sewing an invisible zipper. I'm going to use my pinking blade and just cut a little pinking line on one edge here. There we go. Let's get that started. A little crooked, that's okay. I just kind of chip away at the steps, you know, of something that I'm like, how did I design this to be sewn? And I'm speaking about these little side button things. All right, so that's going to be ready. And then let's put this on. Two of these. If yours is symmetrical, it won't matter, you know, what side you put it on, because you can flip it and stuff. Just like this. I love this little roll of tricot. It just comes in so handy for stuff like this. Little narrow strips of interfacing. Okay. Sure, why not? I can call you RG, I don't mind. Used to go to the East Palo Alto Public Library to 3D print things. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's so smart, Elena. When I used to host a knitting group at the library, they eventually had added a 3D printing kind of club or group or educational thing or something there. And the 3D printer was in the room where I hosted the knitting group, and I was always sitting right next to it, and it was always building something as when we were there overnight. All right, so I'm going to sew across the top right sides together using the seam allowance you picked. And I think I'm going to go across the bottom too. I'm pretty sure I need that. I can always take that out if I don't want, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to need it on both. I'm probably doing this in a few different phases, this little button thing. So I may get part of the way and then I'll work on something else and come back to it. So you might have to skip around in this video if you're watching the replay. Because right now I'm working on the front bib. And then I'm going to finish the front pants. And then I go to the back, and then I'll be putting these onto the back. Aw. That's when you, Elena, you go, okay, what do I absolutely need to get done? Just do that first. You know? I'm just turning this right side out. Why does that look funny? Maybe I will trim this. I sometimes don't trim these little corners when it's just like a straight, you know, it doesn't really have to, be cut away every time. It does help. You're cutting and taping patterns today, Melon? Nice. All right, I'm gonna sew across these 3 sides, just edge stitch it. All right, and so these are gonna go on the back, and so I'm gonna set those aside. I'll put my chocolate liner back. Move that closer. Oh, no problem, Elena, you got that? Okay, so I'm just gonna put a piece of fabric behind this little lining piece here. Just treat it as one layer. I could not find anything in my stash that was just a solid white. I'm kind of out of all my, I used to have like all this extra spoonflower poplin because when we would buy those big rolls of printed stuff, they would, I think maybe their rolls came in a certain size or something because there would always be 2 or 3 yards of unprinted fabric at the end. And we just cut it off and I just used it over the years as like interfacing and stuff like that. But I'm almost out of it now. It's kind of a bummer. It's perfect. Like when it's unprinted, it's kind of a perfect stuff. All right, so let's think about this. Maybe I should do my reinforced things, but right now let me think about this. So I want to clean finish this edge here. I need to clean finish all of this, honestly. So maybe what I could do is end up just hemming my armholes. I don't have to clean finish those. Same with the top bib. Maybe all I do is clean finish the sides and the top. This is kind of tricky. So if I clean finish this, because of the little button placket, it kind of adds a layer of extra stuff we have to deal with. If I clean finish this, and I leave my side seam clean right here at the base of these pants. What does that do to my seam allowance? I think it makes it, it's going to, this is going to happen, it's going to clean finish. That's going to be like that. And then this little edge is going to be like that. And so I'll have to clip it to have the side seam available to sew to the back. That's what I think is going to happen. Let's just try it. I'm going to start with the waist seam only. So I'm going to put my bib right side to wrong side, the bib lining, and then the outer bib here, right side, outsides together. It's a big piece here. So let me arrange it all. Okay. This is so many layers. Why is my interfacing not sticking? What the heck? This is so many layers. Because my waistband too is, it's like 3 or 4 layers. I think I need to pin something here. Look at all those layers. Yeah, I like that idea of the half toile for the top down center out. It's interesting seeing everyone's excitement about that because I think like what the whole sewing community has forgotten, because you don't see this very often, is how amazing it is to drape pants. You know, you just don't see that very often, and that is basically, it gives you that opportunity to kind of drape pants. And draping is so, it makes things so much easier because you're not tied to, you don't have any constraints except for like your starting pattern pieces in this case, right? And that's so awesome because the whole point with draping is letting the fabric do what it wants to do, right? All right, so let's make sure that I caught every layer. Right? Let's see on this side here. All right. And so now, if I want to do these right sides together, that's kind of tricky. Yeah, that's not possible. Because I didn't leave that hanging free. Yeah, right, Elena, exactly. Yeah, because you're letting it hang naturally where it wants to hang. If I put this right sides together to clean finish it, like I knew this wasn't possible, but I had to like do it again, right? I could just clip that down there. Or I'm gonna take out just the end stitching, basically. I have a 5/8 inch side seam. All my other seams, besides like the inseam and the side seams, are 3/8. TDCO is the top down, center out pants fitting method. That's been kind of a buzz lately, Terry. If you haven't heard about that, then yeah, you missed something. It's kind of been a big topic lately. And it's just this method that an Instagram woman has been promoting. Like she's like, you know what? I feel like I've discovered a better way to fit pants. And so she's been sharing it. And other people have been kind of helping her share it. And she was interviewed in Threads magazine recently. And there's a video, there's been a few posts about it in the guild. So if you put in the search bar Ruth or Ithaca Maven or top down, center out, you might find those posts. There's only a couple. And then there's links to the video. So what if I do this? If I fold this back, and I fold this back like that. This is such an unconventional way. I always have to try and let go of sewing something that would be viable in a factory. Like you wouldn't do this in a factory. But that's okay. We don't have to do that, right? We can just edge stitch it if we want. It's fine. Right? I don't like this. There's something about this I don't like. I can't figure it out. Yeah, exactly. Elena knows a lot about it, and she's actually shared part of her experience with it in the guild. Yeah, this is very unconventional, Shem. Because of adding these button bands, you know, it just adds another layer. But I can fake it maybe. I don't like it when you have to do stuff like this. It makes me feel like I'm cheating. Are the landers the one with, yeah, exactly, Terry. Apparently you have missed some stuff, Terry. Aisha, are those the ones without the side seam? Oh, no, those are the Persephone pants, right? So I think that would be an excellent pair of pants to do that on. We all know how I feel about pants without side seams. Okay. All right. So now we have that. Potentially that'll work. But I don't know why I was so dead set on clean finishing this right here, because honestly, what I could have done was I could have left. Oh, I'm kind of kicking myself that I didn't do this. This would be so easy. Okay, just bear with me, okay? Just bear with me. I'm going to do it this way. I will make this 1/4 the time that it would take for me to puzzle this out by doing it this way. So just bear with me. Let me just take out the seam really quick. It won't take me that long. And then I'm going to show you how we're going to clean finish the entire bib in 2 steps. Like, I can't take chances with the seam ripping because I have no extra fabric. So let's just reset. Sometimes you got to noodle through, you know. This will be such a Saremy way to do this too, by the way. I think you could do it for stretch or no stretch, honestly. You do most of the fitting in the side seam. So I think that so far I've seen it mostly used on pants that are loose. Yeah, I don't think there'd be any problem with using like say that's like a loose pair of pants, loose pair of knit pants. Now, if they're hanging okay in mullen, I think that's fine. I don't know about, like, you know, leggings. So they also don't focus on the crotch curve. So you have to be pretty clever there. So that's why I don't think that we've seen it much on jeans, tighter fitting things. Yeah. Why wouldn't you do it on a curved waistband? That's all I ever use. I would think that would be fine. Yeah, for yoked pants. Yeah, which I'm assuming is I don't know why they're using yoked pants as code for jeans though, because not all jeans have yokes, and not all yoked pants are tight. I want it to say fitted. I want that workshop to say that it's about fitted jeans, and then I would be like, okay, we're addressing that now. Okay. Okay, and I think the workshop's free, by the way, if anyone's interested in that. There's a link to it, I'm pretty sure, in the guild. I burned my hand again yesterday. Sorry, you guys. I have the ugliest sewing hands ever. Why did my needle come unthreaded? I am having so much trouble. Look at my hand shaking because I'm holding it so tight. Why is my hand shaking? My hand never shakes. My gosh. That's kind of freaking me out. Oi. All right. So this is what I'm going to do. Sometimes you hold on to how you want to sew something so tightly that it blinds you to other possibilities. You can print that on a t-shirt. So here's what we're going to do. First off, we're going to sew the lining bib to the lining. And I think what I'm going to do, I'm still going to have this trouble at the side seam. I'm pretty sure. No, you know what? I'm going to do it this way. Yeah, right, Elena, exactly. Anyway, all right, so I'm gonna sew this bib right now. I'm gonna go around the side seam, around the armhole, the top, side seam, and down. Yeah, exactly, Elena. That's the thing is like, I think that that's what's been really hard is that that's not her job, right? She's just been like, hey, check this out. I think I figured out a way to do this, and I think that this is easier, you know? And she's been kind enough to like share it, and it's gotten so much traction, right? This isn't her job. She's not a sewing influencer. She's not a YouTuber. She's not a sewing instructor. She's just a very good sewist who's, you know, got an engineering brain, and she's like, hey, you know, look at this great thing. And then other people are like, give me all the pants fitting stuff. Teach me, old guru. And she's like, okay, wait a minute. You know, and it's been really hard because then you have people like Threads picking her up. And people just want, this is such a good example of what I was saying the other day about, or maybe I said it in the Ask a Sewy Question show yesterday. I'm like, you know, people have to put in the work. And a lot of people are so disenchanted with jeans fitting that they kind of gave up on it. And so seeing this kind of like hope for a totally different way to do it that actually makes sense for your brain is so amazing that people are like, you know, grabby hands over it. And she's like, oh, you know, I don't know about all this, you know. So it's awesome that like Threads has stepped in and kind of given it a platform. And also I think that they've kind of formalized some of it. And then other Instagram folks and people have been really helping her. So it's not her job to fix our pants fitting woes, you know. So are you complaining, Shem? I'm sitting here sewing live, having meaningful conversations, figuring out sewing problems, and are you complaining about watching, trying to do your own thing? Wow. Want to switch places, buddy? This fabric I used as the lining, it just keeps getting like bigger and bigger. Wasn't a good choice. And I know it wasn't a good choice, but I love the way it looked with this fabric so much that sometimes you make bad choices. Okay, I'm clipping my curves. I'm still not sold on how I'm going to do this down here, but I have an idea. Okay. I know, sometimes chat's so good, isn't it? I know, I'm like, wait, what are you guys talking about? I want to talk about that. Other times they're just like sharing recipes. I'm here hungry and they're like sharing recipes. This lining is such a problem. I can already tell it's like going to be a little bit problematic. All right, so now I have my lined bib. And so now what I'm thinking is there's just no easy way to do that juncture down there. It's just going to be kind of a pain. But I was thinking I'm going to sew this lining like this. Lining sides together and then turn it to the right side. But I have to deal with this little area here. This is going to be the side seam to the back. So I'm gonna press this right now. I don't think I want to top stitch it quite yet, because when I top stitch it, I'm going to go around the whole thing, and that might lock me into something I don't want to do later. So I'm just going to press this right now, and then I'm going to set it aside while I think about it a little bit more. No, Aisha, you're totally fine. This is what it's for. Cool, Terry. Yeah, I keep meaning to pick up that article because I want to see it too. I want to see it in writing. It helps me out a little bit. And I kind of hope that we'll have a, like maybe just an impromptu stream inside the guild where we can try it out. Because I was thinking about trying it out myself, just live and going through it and seeing what we think, you know. I'm eager to try it too that way. I used to always fit my pants by draping them, but you can't really do that on a live stream. And I never tried it this way where you hold it up by using the waistband. Get that little corner a little nicer. What do we think he's going to regret letting me pick this lining? They're just yard things. I mean, he has to be seen with me in my Blanca flight suit, so no one's looking at him. Okay. All right, so this is ready to top stitch. I'm so eager to top stitch it. Cool. Oh, there's a flow chart. Ooh. Oh, cool, Shem. Your TDCO got you halfway there, but a friend helped you learn what the E should be on the Vogue pattern side. Oh, that's cool. That's awesome. I know, Suzanne, right? It is pretty snazzy. It just works too well to ignore, you know? All right, so let's put on these reinforced knees. So I'm basically just going to, hopefully you can see, I'm just going to line these up. Oh, okay. I'm going to line these up on the 3 sides here. What happened there? Oh, do these go this way? That's why. That's the inseam. I think I've given up keeping track of what is the right and wrong side of this fabric. But let's get rid of all these threads. You know what we need? We need the lint roller. Okay, and then we don't want to infect that one, so let's get this side. Okay. Get those on there in a couple key places. Ray's here somewhere. Ray hasn't been feeling too good. We got to send all of our healing energy to her. She has to, yeah, well, now it's your job, Shem. All right, so I'm just going to hem this little thing right to the pant. She would be very happy to know that you remembered, Shem. Oh, shoot, I went one stitch too farther than I wanted there. There we go. There she is, Ray. How you doing, Ray? Happy Saturday. Just gonna do my second row here. Oh, the overalls are really big. They're really big. Dang, that was the wiggliest line of stitches ever. I think I forgot to change my stitch length from what I was sewing yesterday back to what I was doing on this project. Oh, I hope those do work out, Elena. That'll be awesome. Donna, hello. How's it going? So, oh, sorry, Ray. Oh, I still need to make it available as a replay. You can go look at past events though, and it's there. Where's my? They're in the trash. That's where they are. So I'll make it available. I just haven't had time. I was here sewing till 6:30 last night, and I thought my husband wasn't cooking dinner last night, and then I felt terrible when I walked in, and he, you know, he waits to when he knows I'm leaving work, and he starts. And he made he makes these cauliflower steaks, which sounds kind of interesting, but they're really good. And that's what he was making last night. And I was like, oh my God, I didn't know you're making dinner. I would have come home earlier. I wouldn't have pressed to finish this project. But so I just haven't had a chance to sit in front of the computer and put the replay up. But Donna reminded me, so how was without telling spoilers, how was the first week of the Great British Sewing Bee? You lucky ducks. Are you guys excited? Oh, we call it dunch, Shem. You call it Leonard. That's funny. We call it dunch. My family loves dunch. I love dunch because that is a perfect night for ice cream. Every night is perfect for ice cream. But dunch days are the best. They're my favorite. Yeah, Ray, we think about you. Chat is never the same without you. This is basically pant management at this point, you know, like they're getting so big. All right, so we have our reinforced patches on there. We have our fronts. All right, let's get our straps onto the back now, because I'm not sure how I'm doing that either. We're decreasing our pile of pieces now. We're getting fewer stacks. There's my overall things. Oh, there's that pattern piece. I can't lose that for that other project. There's my mouse pad. This is what happens when you don't have everything in a bin right there. All right, so here's the back, and then we have the straps. And I gave tips on making the lining straps smaller so you don't have this thing going on here. So I have a little bit of a extra slack, because I really, 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 really do not want this showing on this side. So I exaggerated it, and I know I could have mitigated this a little better. Plus this fabric's a little funky, so it was really good. It was wrap dresses. The view was fun. Nice. Via VPN, yeah. I went through all those steps last time to try and do all that, and I never got it to work in North America, so. Yeah, the cauliflower steaks, he slices the cauliflower like into steaks, and then he fries them. Anything fried's good, and then he makes a romesco sauce. The blue top I'm wearing, oh, it's the Reynolds dress with the border print at the bottom. And I just have a t-shirt I made underneath. I've been doing a lot of drafting lately, Shim. But you know what I noticed is I actually thought that this one was going to be really popular, and the views are really, really lower on this, which I don't mind too much. I just note it so that I kind of pay attention to what people are more interested in, because I'm interested in so much. I don't mind changing, right? But yeah, the refashioning always brings out a lot of folks, which is pretty cool. All right, so flat fell seam. Flat fell seam. Why can't I remember? I'm gonna do it. I can do it wrong sides together, right? Trim one and then hem it over. Right? Like that. Oh yeah, I know yeah, he was pretty happy with how his romesco turned out this time too. Yeah, I've had trouble with the fit of this one too, Mullen. You know what I'm working towards, Shim? I'll just say this because it's not like a secret or anything. I'm working towards people having slopers eventually. And I also want to show how to draft things with them. So like, and I feel like with just saying it, like I don't, this isn't my, I mean, it's not happening yet, right? It takes me a long time to work towards things because it's a lot of people kind of getting onto that train, you know, and making time for it. And we're all really distracted and excited by all the other little things we have going on, sewing and stuff. And so, like, I can't expect everyone to be like, yeah, let's make slopers today. And from now on, we're drafting all of our patterns, because that's just like, it's just a lot for people to do. And some people don't want to have to deal with that. They just want to buy a pattern and do it. But I think, like, for the people who don't, like a new pattern comes out and it's not in their size, I feel like it's okay if I say this is how you're going to draft that. And I know that that's really probably kind of controversial to do that in some ways. But I also just don't think that the home sewing pattern industry is really serving customers as well as they could. Ooh, I'm getting spicy. But, and I like the idea, even if it's not the exact same pattern, saying, all right, this month I'm going to show you how to draft a collar and a collar stand and a popover placket. And then this is the neckline and shoulder you need to put that on, to put this pattern onto it. And then here's some examples. Like, I've had this idea for like a year and a half to do that every month. This month we're going to draft this, and this is what you need. This is where it goes, and these are the possibilities. Look at all these styles you've seen 100 times that have this treatment. So I don't know, something like that. Anywho, I'm doing my flat felled seam. I'm going to sew it wrong sides together. And then I'm going to hem it right on top of the right side. And this is the very long center back rise of the back bib. Couldn't you bind the edge on the bib? I actually thought about binding the armholes, Ray, like as a facing. You absolutely could, Terry. You absolutely could. And the thing is, I don't think that my idea is unique. I think there's plenty of people showing drafting out there. I just think that there's, I don't know. I think seeing where you can use something and why and how to incorporate it, that's kind of where it's like, what am I going to do with this information, you know? I want you to all get to what I used to do before I live streamed. I never bought a pattern. I just drafted it. I'd say, oh, I like that. I'm going to do that, but I'm going to not do this part of it because I know that doesn't look good on me, you know? Right, Mullen? Exactly. You're very into that, by the way. Got you. Right, Libby? Yeah. And you know what? What are they going to do to me? There's no copyright, by the way, for something like that. And I'm actually not, I should be really, really clear. My aim is actually not to copy pattern companies' designs. It actually isn't. It's more like, you know, how do you draft those elements? You know, we haven't seen that element before. Okay, you want to do puffy sleeves. This is how you do puffy sleeves. We're seeing this trend in patterns lately, or really the fashion world. They're just using it as trends too. I don't know. I haven't really noodled about this too much, so I don't really want to like hem it in with what I'm thinking right now because I'm not prepared right now to deal with the fallout of that. No copyright in fashion. As much as people think there is. Yeah, I did this backwards. Like, you really should be doing this. I don't know why I always do these backwards. I just did my flat felled seam backwards. Oh, well. Oh, well. I think you should do your flat felled seam right sides together, by the way. Not wrong sides like I just did. All right, so I'm just going to press this seam. So I trimmed this side down to 1/4 of an inch. And then this side is going to hem over it just like this. We're basically hemming our seam allowance like that. And we're going to top stitch it down. I always do these wrong sides together. You're not supposed to. You're supposed to do it right sides together. It doesn't matter though. It's the same thing. It's just, it'll look a little different than what you're used to seeing on the insides of your like pants and things. So much fabric. Let me make sure I didn't put the end screen on. Now I'm so paranoid. You don't really, I don't really need to iron this because the canvas is so easy to work with that way. It's got more stability than say like a hemp or a linen, but it still has that capability to be really flexible and put into whatever you want. Oh, and you know the other aspect about teaching drafting is I would also teach how to sew it. So that's where most drafting books don't help someone. They're like, great, I know how to draft this, but I actually don't know how to sew it. I would love like skill building sessions to be kind of like that. Or maybe there could be like a different, totally different skill building thing where it's just a drafting thing. Ooh, that'd be so fun. Maybe next year, skill building can just be drafting. I don't know. We'll see. What we really need, you guys, is a sewing sugar daddy. You guys want to find me a sewing sugar daddy? So I can just do whatever I want with you guys. Oh, is that what it is, Mullen? Oh, wait. Yeah, how new is anything out there anyway, right? Right, Terry, I do. I wish my French team everything. Yeah, it was, Donna. It was supposed to be right together. Yeah, Aisha, I know. You're so good. My jeans are flat felled on the outside. Yours looks right to me. Oh, okay. Maybe they are. When I was first taught flat felt, I did it to the outside. And then after that, every time I saw it in a pattern, it was to the inside. And I was like, oh, I was taught wrong. You know? And then I realized it could be either way. Oh, okay. That's interesting. I thought like it was going to look like this on the right side with the edge line of stitches. This is the wrong side. This is the right side here. All right, so I'm going to edge stitch this. There's something really satisfying about flat felled seams too. I was flat felling seams when I didn't know what that was because I had made big mistakes, you know, on like a pattern. And I'm like, oh, I can't finish this edge now. Can I just hem it? And I sometimes would hem it to the seam allowance like this, right? I would roll hem it and hem it like that. Before I knew what a French seam was. And then I ran out of bobbin. And then I started learning that there was this thing called flat felled seams. So. Yeah, we need one who can support us all, exactly. Yeah, because like I have so many things I want to do, and I know there are things that you guys ask for and you want and everything, but I literally can't fit any more in, you know? If I didn't have to do skill building sessions, I could still do things. You know what I mean? Like I would just do it a little differently. Oh, I should have sewn on my fabric first. That sounds kind of weird though. I'm going to pull it out. It sounded, yeah, that looks bad. I love doing the skill building sessions though. They're really such an amazing exercise for me, and I always learn something, and I also learn better how to talk about how to describe how to do something. It makes me more concise, which I have a lot of trouble with, obviously. And so that's been such a great exercise. for me. And it's actually like when someone was like, when are you writing a book? I was like, oh, I don't really have the time for that. But then I was like, you know what? Actually, I'd be kind of into writing a book. That would be kind of fun. I wouldn't mind that at all. I don't think books are the greatest thing that people think they are for like you as like a brand or whatever. I don't think you make a lot of money doing them, but it would be an amazing exercise. And I would love to see all these things in one spot. I think that'd be really fun. I think shim, you can do it like that, but I also think it's just to make the scene really low profile. You know he's out there, yeah. Really? See, I'm about to do a poll about skill building sessions because I want to make sure they're actually what you guys, how you guys want them and how they should be. Because I'm putting about probably 60 hours or more, easily more, definitely more like 80 hours into those. And I don't know if that's really what you want, you know? I think they look so easy the way I'm doing it, but it's not. Like I'm putting a lot of effort into it and I love them, but like what if this isn't how people want this, you know? Okay, so here's my straps. And I designed this so that they're going to go under this little tongue. Oh, what do you call this? Like this, right? And so my idea was, I just kept this really basic. So I looked at these in the store, and the way that they are drafted, I didn't do it because it would take so much fabric. And the way it is that this strap here is connected to this back over here, right? And this one is a seam. And so if this one here is like this continuous piece here, and then you sew this underneath and attach it underneath as well. Something like that. I can't think that. And now I'm looking at it like this, I can't think of that way, but. All right. So let's see here. I think that I can hem this. Let's put, where's our little, here they are. So now we have our little, this wouldn't have been a great skill building session because I actually am figuring it out as I go. And so I don't really think that that's very good for you guys. Like you deserve to know how it goes. You don't deserve from me to figure it out as I go. Yeah, I like them a lot, and I think that that's what's cool about them, you know. All right, so maybe I'll overlock this edge. Let's see. There's a few different ways I could do this. So if this edge is overlocked, I only have a 3/8 inch allowance there. I think I could do this, right? I could sew and turn and then clean finish it like that, right? So let's overlock this edge here. Let's overlock the whole bib, the whole back, and this edge here. Actually, I'm just going to attach these like this. So I'm going to put this little flange here, right sides together. This is at a 5/8 inch seam though, so I'm going to put a little under. I'm just going to sew this on here. Don't move. Don't you do that. Look at that funky seam allowance. That's terrible. All right, and then let's do our other one. Hi, Bonnie. Yeah, well, congratulations. How is that going? That's awesome. That's no easy task. Yeah, I know what you mean, right? Like, it's like, do I really want to put that much effort into something if I don't think it's going to be something I'll want later? I kind of struggled with that because my pants weren't fitting all fall and winter, and I hate that. Like, that's just like, it just feels terrible, right? When your clothes don't fit, and you don't have any backups, and you don't want to spend money on the clothes or whatever. And so I gave myself permission to like make myself new pants. This sounds so privileged, right? I gave myself permission to sew myself a new pair of jeans. But that's the thing, is like, I have, that's my resource, right? That's how I don't spend money on clothes. I have the fabric, I have the skills, and at the time I had the time too. So I made myself larger pants. And it was like, okay, well, do I think I'm ever going to wear these if I lose weight? And I'm like, you know what? I don't feel like I have to lose weight now that I have pants that fit, which felt great. It gave me like that feeling too. So now I have 2 sets of pants. I made 2 or 3 pairs in the bigger size. It was great. So yeah, and I will absolutely keep them. Yeah, that's true, Shim. All right, you're giving me some stuff to think about there. Oh, that's good, Suzanne. I'm really glad. I'm reading chat. You guys have a lot. You've chatted a lot more than I thought. Sorry, I'm missing stuff. Oh, I feel like when I start publishing the SBS, I'm always like, that's all, Saremy? There's so much more that I really need to say. You know why? I don't look at other people's like stuff on some of those until towards the end, because then I'm like, you know what? I need to make sure that there isn't something out there. Like, what else is out there? Like, what other information is there? And what I find is that there's so much information missing on some of these things. It's kind of just the same information over and over. All right, I'm just going to overlock this edge. The whole perimeter except for the inseam and the hems. I'm not going to do the hems. I need to do this. Is this good lighting okay? Is that okay? Maybe I should put my phone on for the chat. You think so, Shim? I would love to do that. If you guys would be down for things like that, I am so down for stuff like that. And where's my little phone holder, Majiggy? Oh well, all right. Oh, my blade's up. Oh, oh. What am I doing? Okay, okay, okay. I'm gonna look at my stitches. I want them to be tight. I don't want these little serger threads to get snagged, you know? Oh, I should practice that little technique I saw. Okay, so that serging looks really nice, actually. Yeah, right, Shem? Okay, so this is how he does it. He goes like this, and then goes off the edge, right? And then we pull back a little bit. I didn't do that right. Oh, this is a disaster. Okay, I can't do that. All right. All right, so we do this. We start here, go off the edge. We pull it. I'm going to trim this start thread off, pull it in front, put the thread tail on top. See, I went too far again. Oh, no. I just pull the thread tail until this butts up against the needles. Pull the thread tail like that. Oh, I didn't get it quite up there. Okay. All right, I'm going to leave that on there. I'm finding I have to lift the whole presser foot up. I'm going to pull this tail again. I'm just going to keep this continuous so I can practice. Can I do it? Can I do it? Did I get that tail in there though? I missed it completely. All right. Lift this up. Pull my tail straight. He makes this look so easy. It's definitely a knack. Okay. Okay, I'm getting there. Oh my God. I saw this guy, Terrence Williams. He does this he did it on Instagram. I was like, okay, now this kind of thread tail management looks easier than the flipping thing for me. The tail there. I'm just not quite getting it though. Oh God, that's terrible. That one is terrible. Are you using that top down center out thing, Donna? Method? Not thing, but method. All right, I'm going to start it fresh this time. All right. It's a little thick. Pull it out. I think that's part of my... See, I don't like having to do this. That's why I kind of like, you know, doing it continuous. All right, trim this off. Lift up the presser foot. Okay, when I do it this way, I have a better chance of making it look nicer. I'm just going to trim all this off, though. That's just too much. I don't know. Practice, 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 right? Oh, Don, are you using that top down center out method? Yeah, right. I know you need a side seam. You know, it's funny because I was wrong. Like when someone said they were doing the landers, and I was like, oh, is that the Persephone? That's the pair without the side seam? I was thinking the Persephone, and then I was like, because you know, the top down center out would be really great for those. I'm wrong. There's no side seam, so you couldn't even use that method for that. Okay. That was my best one right there. I feel like I just made the problem worse in a couple areas here. You just gotta laugh at it, you know? Oh, that's this method we've been talking about, Donna, that everybody's been talking about, this alternative way to fit pants. Top down, center out. It's in the latest Threads magazine. And if you go to their YouTube page and look at the interview with Ruth Collins, you can learn about it there. And it's in the Guild. People have been talking about it. Okay. We've got this down. All right. How am I doing this? Why are these not matching when I thought I checked? Oh, that's fine. That's within my tolerance. Okay. So here's my strappy-doos. I want to see how they lay when... So that's my... Basically, they need to like land in those areas there. So let's just stitch these to themselves. You know? Let's get rid of these pins here. Oh. This one? This one? Wait. Oh, maybe this one. Okay. Oh, sorry. It's my favorite necklace right now. Thank you, Libby. Exactly. Label. Oh, gosh, Aisha. Yeah. Oh, my gosh, Bonnie. Wow. That is incredible. What an inspiration. Congratulations. Good job. Good job. Yeah, I don't know if you were here when I did the Half Moon 101 jeans. And I posted on Instagram the progression of the videos of the fitting. Those were really hard for me to fit. I didn't make any secret about it. They were really hard. I'm just going to change the top thread. All right, so first I'm going to, well, maybe I'll just pin this on here. And then I'm going to sew this label all the way around. Like right here. Okay. So cute. I'm going to have to use the other one, Libby, on something for me. And maybe my own garden overalls. And so then Michael and I will be matching. Libby gave me these labels. Oh, I got that one a little cute. Oh, apostrophe. Oh, cool. Okay. Now let's put our thread back in. Doesn't it feel like we're really far away from being done? All right. So let's see. So I think that I think what I can do is hem these pieces now, right? Actually, let's fold this edge over this button facing here. I'm going to fold that over there. It'll make it a little bit nicer. You know, I really gave myself kind of too wide of a hem allowance on that armhole there. See, that looks nicer like that. Rather than doing this, this is what I see. This is how I can tell some pattern companies are kind of beginners too. They would just have you fold this down like this, and then you have this edge looking like that. And so this looks a little cleaner. Aw, Ray. Thanks. Oh, I have all the alerts off right now because I was recording. Whoops. I think I caught it. I know, I told you guys. I told you. I knew. This is one of those things where you can just keep going and going and going. All right, so now we have that there. It looks pretty nice. All right, and so my idea now is I think that I can hem this whole edge here. And I want to hem it from the right side only because I'm using top stitch thread. I sort of want to do this. I want to edge stitch this right now, but I'm not going to. I don't like back stitching in like corners like this, but I will. It's okay sometimes. Let's, I really should have probably prepped this edge better. So remember that the center of this back piece is actually this first seam right here, not the folded edge. And so you want to make sure that if that really is going to bug you looking off center like that, that you do some other sorcery. You didn't get an alert, Ray, at all. I like the Ray, the alert though. Cool, that's a lot to manage here. All right. Just folding it under and trying to keep it a nice smooth curve. I also don't want to stretch out that curve because that can happen because of the fact that it's all in the bias. I'm going to do my second row now, like this. That's how it's looking. This side looked a little flappy. It looked a little flappy. See, I feel like this should be on here right now, you know? Think I can do it? We'll see. I'm going to pin my straps on there. Love how I just had them twisted, huh? Okay. It would have been nice to have these in on the first pass, but sometimes I'm just trying to figure out things as I go, and I'm too scared, you know, to like do something that I might not be ready for, you know, like I feel like I might be getting ahead of myself. And then I realize, oh shoot, that was my opportunity, you know. This can get really thick, but this is so much easier to sew than some overalls. Like the Yantas are really pretty tricky to sew. If you've ever had to sew the juncture here. I'm trying to cover up this little spot right here. I'm just kind of tucking it in there. Oops. They look really cool though, and I don't think the Yantas are a problem if you're doing like a fabric. If you're doing a denim, you kind of want to look ahead. And I wanted to avoid that kind of thick seam juncture there because I knew this would be kind of thick. All right, let's see how it looks. Do you really? Actually, that's funny. Oh, that's pretty cool. I'm glad it's satisfying. All right, so see, I have this little edge here. I don't really want that. So I'm going to now I'm going to stitch my diamond. And so I'm just going to stitch the diamond here, and I'm going to go over this stitching here. So I think I'll start right here. And, you know, like this is one way I can kind of figure out where that stitching is. I'm going to fold it right here. Like this. Put a little crease. Whatever it takes, right? Okay, like that. And now I know I need to be to the left of that little fold there. I'm going to line up my stitching with the outer edge stitching. If that makes sense. If you don't know how to sew something, what I say is just you know, chip away at it a little bit here and there, and then work yourself to that point. It may not come out exactly how you would do it the next time, but at least you won't have to go backwards, you know. This is pretty thick right here. This might make me a little nervous. It's this hem of this top edge. That's what's kind of thick right there. I got my new hump jumper. I should get it out. Ooh. All right, so I'm gonna now do a second row here. What is this thread? Where's this coming from? So I went like this. I went here, here, and I went up to this top edge here so I could secure that. I came back down, and now I'm gonna go shy of where I started and do my second row right here. Kind of just doing a little, like a little concentric, a concentric diamond. It's the least parallel I've ever stitched something. But there we go. That's not too bad for winging it. It's not great though. This feels pretty secure back here. All right. I would definitely do that differently. So I think ideally what I would probably do with these things is if you have enough fabric, making the straps built onto the garment is going to decrease all the bulk. Oh, I got, it's right here. I'm going to do a bonus video for the buttons skill building session. So I got this one here. We'll do a little intermission. This is now when you go use the restroom, Shem. Go get your snack, your drink of water. So I got this one. It's by Madam Sew. The reason I picked this one, there's a lot of different ones out there, like the Thingamajig and other like hump jumpers, and they look really similar to this. And then someone posted in the guild yesterday that if you have a 3D printer, you can 3D print one of these, and it looks almost identical to this. So there's two thicknesses, but the reason I got this one, was the fact that you can use it to, my machine doesn't sew buttons, but my home machine has a zigzag on it. You can put a button there. I thought I had a button right here. I've had this button sitting here driving me crazy for a week now, and of course it's now gone. But you could use it to sew on a button, so you could put the button underneath here and it'll hold the button in place when you sew. So that's why I got this one. It also has a needle holder right here. I posted about it in the guild under accessibility for sewists, Libby. So if you're, have trouble holding your needle, you can use it to put it on your machine. Like my Serger has one of these. So this is the one I got. We'll see. I'm going to try it out. You can see it in action. Hopefully it was a good choice. So, all right. How are we doing here? It'd be fun to do something right here. It just looks so off center. But only I have to look at it, unfortunately, when my husband's wearing them, right? All right, here's our button facing here. These are pretty much ready now to sew to the fronts. All right, so now this is it. We're finally putting our overalls together. I have to decide on this bib now. The time has come. I also need to do the inseam, and I want to do a flat felled seam. So we're going to do that next so that it's less fabric to wrangle. And I'm also going to overlock my side seams on the front pants because I overlocked this side. I'm not going to sew them together with Serger. So I'm going to overlock this right now. I'm just going to do the side seams of the front. We have this pocket here too. You guys, we're almost done with these. Does it feel like we're almost done? I can't wait to see these on Michael. I am, Libby. I'm going to use tack buttons. What time is it? It's not even 1. Okay. I might even break out my machine and do the buttons and buttonholes. Be nice to finish, you know? I didn't want it to bubble there, that's why I was kind of holding it like this. A pocket. All right. Yeah, I'll probably put the hardware on. Oh, there we go. Okay, so let's do our inseam. And you guys are saying to do the inseam on the pants to the outside or the inside? Do it like this. So I do it wrong sides together? Ouch! Ow! Wham! Those pins poked me in the belly. So this is the wrong side here. Right? Wrong sides together? Tell me what to do. Okay, cool, wrong sides together. Yeah, Aisha, are you the one that had that automatic hump jumper built in? Okay. So if that, can I offset these thicknesses? That rarely happens to me that I get that so that the thickness isn't offset right there. There's no way I can do it. I have to offset that. I should have done it going the other direction. Did you hear the knee patch? Did I sew the knee patch top edge? I did. I'm all, nah. I did. It's right here. Did that right here. I did it one of the first things today. Hammer. Yeah, I'll probably have to hammer that, but like I think I'm gonna have to offset that a little bit. Okay, let's check my inseams before we dive in here. All right, it looks pretty good. Just making sure. Please stop unthreading yourself. Yeah, it's not a Bernina, not my Bernina doesn't do that. I'm trying to sell my Serger and I've had nobody interested in it, and now I'm like, maybe I should get it back out and have another machine handy. Because it does have all these attachments I never used, and now I'm kind of like, that might be kind of fun. Terrible, right? All right. So I'm just doing this wrong sides together. Inseam. 5/8 of an inch seam allowance. Ooh, so much fabric. Really having to not fight with it, but manage it. That wasn't quite 5/8 right there, was it? Well, let's trim all these little back stitch threads here. I think I'm gonna just kind of reinforce that a tiny bit. Do you, Ray? That's awesome. I'm hoping that someday there's going to be the home buttonhole machine. Did you guys see that they re-released the little attention all gadget lovers out there? If Nancy was here, you know, and I know Terry. Did you guys see that they re-released the gadget that makes binding for you? Like, so you put the cut bias in there, and you basically press a button and then it folds it, comes out the other end pre-folded. So I was like, well, that's pretty cool. I think it's, I want to say it's the Simplicity. But my question is, I never use pre-folded binding, and I don't know actually how to do it. I feel like it would hinder me the way I like to sew binding. So, but you can tell people are going gaga for this thing, so I should probably remind the world that I sell bias binding, because I keep forgetting about that. All right, so we're gonna hem this toward the front. So we're gonna trim the front leg. You have that, Elena? You got one? Nice. Yeah, is it, how much? Is it like a little over 100? Right, Shem, I know. Because it's like doing a like house project, right? You have the, this is the front, so I need to trim the reinforcement. You know, like jobs are usually prep and finishing, and the actual job is really easy. So my fabric's pretty thick. It's pretty easy to do it this way, but I recommend when you're trimming this edge that you actually trim it with the non-trim side up like this, because you're at far less risk of cutting the wrong layer. See that? I can hold it out of the way, and then I know. You know, I haven't been in the yard, like working out in the yard since Sunday. And I got poison oak yesterday right there. Isn't that funny? And my husband thinks he's got it right now. So I'm like, you brought me lunch yesterday. You gave me cooties. 230. Oh, shoot. That's exciting, Elena. If you ever want to do a little post in the guild about it, we'd love to see it in action, you know, whenever you get to it. No big deal. I love seeing stuff like that. Everyone else does too. Yeah, I think that there's a lot of good reasons to fold your binding, especially probably in the quilting world. It comes with all the tips. Ooh! It's $500 on Amazon right now. Can't you just get it from the Simplicity site? I don't think they would do that, mark it up like that. Because that's what I thought. I thought it was, I was going to say $215. But then I was like, maybe that's the one I saw on eBay before they remade it. Yeah. You got it directly from Simplicity. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so check the Simplicity site out, Terry. That's who's making it. People are reselling it. And, you know, you just never know if you're going to get the right thing on Amazon. I see that a lot. Like, people are like, oh, this was a copy. No, they just remade it, Aisha. And also, the old tips don't work on the new thing. Some garments are obvious, some aren't. Yeah. Yeah, right, Shem? I know. It's easier to use pre-fold on the Zadie. Where's the binding on the Zadie? Is it like a perimeter long edge? See, I told you, everyone, that wish Nancy was here. So, Nancy, have you ever seen that gadget that pre-folds your binding for you? So you put in the cut bias on one end, and then you press a button and it comes out the other end folded the way you want and the width you want. They just re-released that little gizmo and you can get it. And Elena got one. Yeah, it was in the UK first. That's why I didn't mention it first. I saw that. All right, so I'm just going to iron this edge here because this is my reinforced. It's a little bit, you know, it wants to push this way. The neckline. Oh, okay. Well, do they have you do it in one step? That sounds hard. Come on, iron. Catch up to where I'm at. There is so much, like, modeling from the laundry on these. I can't believe I didn't notice. See, I knew you would like that, Nancy. Oh, yeah, Nana. Yeah. Coasters are always a really fun thing, too. Yeah, they announced it like a month ago, and that month went by really fast, didn't it? This is a lot of fabric. Oh, okay, Elena, that's cool. You've made quite a few of those, like 3 or 4 of the Zadies, so you're the pro on those. Bind everything. So, I got a binding attachment. I keep forgetting to share it, but I did get a binding attachment that works on my machine, and I don't have to have permanently installed. It doesn't take pre-folded binding though, but it sews it on in one step, which is cool. That's just like, that's really cool, but it also has its limits, you know. Not every spot you can sew binding on in one step. You have to, it has to be, you have to have a start and a stop. Oh, that's cool, Nancy. Oh, cool, Anna. Oh, I love that you're like, I need to practice binding, and I'm going to pick the absolute hardest edge to do it on. Actually, you know what? I take that back. I think a circle, it would be pretty easy. When you do it on a circle, just stretch it a little bit as you, like, pull your binding as you sew the circle. Yeah, so those, exactly, those binding feet have to, you have to have a curve. Yeah, so there's limits to them. There's no one solution for binding everything. Just like slide it on and top stitch down. Oh, okay, yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I mean, if you know your binding is precisely folded, you can absolutely do that. All right, so we're just doing this inseam, this flat felled seam. This is the reinforced leg down here, so it's a little thicker, but it's fine. You could probably grade it a little more, but I don't really feel like I need to, because really, you know, it's wrapping around these 2 edges like this and top stitching down. So I'm not having to fold those 2 edges. All I have left right now is the out seam and the bib. Yeah, jump with both feet. Yeah, don't you wish like the iron like knew? They see you walk in the room and you're like, oh, time to get to work. And they just turn themselves on. Everything's about to slide off my table right now. I have an emergency piece of gum here for, you know, throat tickles. I'm just getting rid of some pins here. Getting up to that crotch intersection. This is really, really thick. Like Terry said, get your hammer out. You'll be shocked at how well the hammer can make your fabrics thinner. I was pretty surprised. I thought it was kind of a gimmick, I'll be honest. Till I tried it, I was desperate, and I was like, oh, I'm never not going to do this again. This is great. Get rid of my back stitch threads there. I really don't want any of this to pop out, and I feel like it wants to. I'm constantly pulling apart the pants like this, really taut. Oh, you do? That's awesome, Shem. Right, Libby? Exactly. It's exactly why I think it should be possible. A smart outlet. Do you have like one of those, is Siri just the one on your phone? That's my question. I don't really want one of those things in the house. I don't want to say the name because I know I set them off sometimes if I'm talking. But, you know, where you say, hey, whatever, turn on the outdoor lights or whatever. I don't want one of those standalone things in the house. Like, I don't want to get one of those. I'm saying this in such a weird way. But can you just do that with your phone? It's interesting. One of the reasons I got a new light for the stream was so that I could turn it on and off using the computer because I can't reach it. And it was really making it hard to light it up over there. And so I got a key light, and that's how I do it. It's on my taskbar. Oh, okay, cool. That's interesting. Oh, interesting. Nancy, that's awesome. I love that. That's pretty clever, actually. I've had my iron plugged into what do you call it? Surge protectors, and the surge protector. I switched it on and off using the surge protector. And I've done it for other things too. Use the surge protector as a light switch. Okay, so now the inseam is sewn. We can't put off this little tricky business much longer. Here's the bib. So what we need is we need this bib. Let me think about it. What if I thought about it like this? Wish you could see the whole thing. So here's what it's looking like though, right? It's looking cute. I mean, rugged and outdoorsy, ready for garden work. So if I sew this, like let's say that this is clean finished on here, right? And this is turned back like this. I used to sew with paper or my stapler a lot. Okay, so that's how that is. All right, let's say this is what I'm left with here. That's what I want it to look like, and I don't think it's going to. Okay, and so then I have to sew this here. So let me tell you why I am so hesitant right now. Here's the deal. I could sew this bib on here and leave it like this, right? But what the problem is, when I want to sew the side seam together, it goes to here. It goes to the bottom of my bib, right? So this right here. I have to be able to get in here to sew it to that. So what if I did it the other way? I did the side seam first, all right? So now we're looking at it like this. All right, so now I've sewn it, the side seam on here like this, right? Oh, hi, you brought me lunch? Thanks. Your overalls are turning out great. He said, I hope so. What'd you bring me?
Grilled chicken salad.
Thank you.
Sure.
Where'd you go?
To the Robbie's burger truck.
Oh. I've never been there.
Yeah.
Hey, Rebecca, how's it going? Do you want to say hi? How'd the burn pile go?
Cool. I ran out of fuel, and then it wasn't starting, so I abandoned it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so.
And say, come over here and say hi. You have to stand near me.
Oh, yeah.
So you see, there.
Hey, ready?
There's the camera.
Ready?
Yeah, see, look. So here are the front lower part. There's your little tool pocket here. Here's the back bib or back straps. And then the bib is right here. And then we have a little like pocket for your glasses. See, it kind of bubbles out. And then we also put in a eyeglass
Cool.
cloth there. That was Shem's idea.
Thank you. Very good idea.
So we only have two things left: the bib to the bottom of the pants and the side seams, and then all just the hardware
Nice.
and hems. That's it. So
Cool.
yeah,
That's great.
cool.
All right. Let's see it.
Thanks for lunch.
Sure.
They're all saying hi.
Bye, everybody.
Thanks, babe.
See ya.
All right. So I think I like that solution, doing the side seam first, because I think then I can get the bib around that, you know. And hammer loop, it's there. I got the hammer loop right there. I should have showed him, huh? Absolutely, who else am I going to blame this on? All right, so I'm going to put these right sides together, which is very confusing right now. Okay. I didn't see what you wrote, Terry. What'd you say? How come I can't see what you said? It's my stream. Put user in timeout. Do y'all know that that's how Terry became a mod? I accidentally blocked her, or what did I do to you, Terry? Because we were getting our first bots. It was the anniversary. It was like my stream anniversary, and we were getting bots for the first time when I hit 10,000 subscribers. That's what it was, and I didn't have moderators then, and the chat was kind of going fast, and so when I went to hide the bots, I clicked Terry's name by accident and blocked her. And so I was like, oh, so I said, there's our story. Absolutely. He is absolutely. And then, yeah, I put her in timeout. And so I was trying to untime her out, and I couldn't. And so I made her a mod. And then I made her stay a mod forever. All right, so I'm going to sew this. I'm going to sew this up to here. Sew the side seam here. I'm just going for it. At this point, I just wanted to see, I need to do something, right? If I did these again, I would definitely put this together differently in a different order. But I think you could actually still sew these this way. I just think I would have a better understanding of my order of operations. I mean, it is nice when we sew for him because I can have our house buy the fabrics, right? Rather than sew. That's why, in July, when we sew, he kind of is he's our July sewing sugar daddy. Because we sew for all the men's stuff in July. All right, so this is where I have now, okay? Oh yeah, that'll absolutely work. Because at the end of the day, once this is on here, I can also do a little bit of top stitching there. Yeah, I don't think I should have sweated that so much, but Okay, cool. Yeah, let's do that. All right, we're gonna do that. So we're doing our side seam. Michael has such a good sense of humor. It's awesome. I've told you guys that. That's why, you know, that's why I liked him so much. That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, I really like making men's clothes. It's such a shame that there's really not a lot of patterns out there for guys, you know? And unisex is not the same for men either, you know, in some cases. So just doing the side seam here. It's such a long seam. I'm just like, ugh, trying to manage it all. I'm gonna have to dig out the pitchfork for the photos, you know? Maybe put my Blanca flight suit on. This is the time of year that it's perfect to wear. Okay, so I'm getting up here. I think I should reinforce where that hammer loop goes into the side seam too. All right, so I'm just gonna stop right here at the base of this. Yeah, I could go a little higher, but I didn't give myself much in the way of seam allowance for that. All right, so now we're gonna put the bib on. So I'm being on the floor. And I'm gonna do it like I said. I'm gonna put it to the lining first. Like this. Oh, you know, I stopped 5/8 of an inch shy, and it's a 3/8 inch seam allowance. So, yeah. Ugh. It's a lot. I kind of want to do it from this side so I can see the pant. So the bib is on the bottom and the pant's on top, but it just makes it a little awkward. I don't really want to accidentally sew the other side of the bib. I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to turn this back like this. Please stay up here. Okay. So this is what we're looking at. This is the right side of the back, and it's the bib, it's the top turned down. This is the front of the pants right here, right? So there's the inside of the overalls. And then we're going to put the inside of the pants waistband, right sides together to the inside of the bib lining. I'm going to line this up at the side seam here. And I'm only going to sew the linings to the waistband first. I still got to sew that pocket down too. Yes, exactly. All right. I keep double checking it, you know. Where's my center? Here it is. So let's just go by the center here. I'm getting excited about these. He's excited about them. He actually said it. He's like, I'm really looking forward to having those. He doesn't wear the jeans I made him as much because of the rivets, really pokey. I need to just fix it for him. Okay, so did I turn back? I did, didn't I? Oh, I turned it back like this, right? That's what I did, yeah, okay. So I turned that seam allowance just kind of in along the seam line right there. Okay, phew. So now we got a wide mouth frog. Do you guys remember that joke? I don't even know what the joke was. I just remember that part. Okay, Terry. Is it a Zaxby's day? It's Saturday, right? I feel like you always go out on Saturdays. He brought me lunch. That's so nice. Okay. So we're looking at my overalls inside out right now, but with the front right side up, right? So we're just going to hem this over like that. And we're going to top stitch all the way around. We need a few pins. And that's what Jim said. That's why I said I just need him, I need to dig out the pitchfork. Either that or, you know, a banjo, right? Okay. This little edge still has some threads. So isn't tomorrow May? Oh yeah. Oh my gosh, my birthday is in like 2 weeks or so, 2.5 weeks. Cricket's gonna visit. Woo woo. So you know what you could do here? Let's cheat. Let's cheat. Let's just sew across this like this. Let's put this right sides together. Pizza today. Maybe I think I was talking a little too ambitiously. This is so thick right here, but I'm going to try it anyway. I'm just going to sew for a little bit right here across the bottom of the bib. Oof, can I do it? Just a little bit. I don't know. This might be a bad idea. Let's see. You think I can do that? I don't know. Maybe it's not worth it. Shoot. Sometimes cheating gets you nowhere. No banjo jokes. Do you play the banjo, Justine? I love the banjo. All right, so maybe what I'll do is I'm just going to trim this little corner. I don't like trimming these things if I'm not quite sure how I'm going to sew it, because, you know, you never know. You might end up needing that seam allowance there, and it makes it kind of hard because all you have left is like this thready stump, you know. See, like, look at that. It's already kind of really close to the edge there. All right. How many musicians do we have here? Do we have a lot of musicians? I knew a lot of musicians in the knitting world. It's very common. You do? That's awesome. How long have you been playing banjo? I took up violin when I was 20, but then I didn't continue. My violin broke. And it just started getting kind of expensive, you know. I still have my violin. I got it fixed eventually. It broke again. Different spot. The dreaded nubbin. You know exactly what I'm talking about, Suzanne, don't you? That's why I don't clip the corner of like waistbands or cuffs, because that little nubbin can come back to haunt you. Okay. Give it a good tug back there. We don't want any slack. Okay. Okay. Okay, so in December, I was like, I really need to get my eyes checked. I need new glasses. Got in, did the whole thing. And when I was done with the appointment, they were like, okay, thanks for coming. I was like, that's it? You're not going to go make me go over to that area and pick out glasses and do the whole thing? And they were like, nope. I was like, okay. They're like, yeah, do that anytime you want. You can do it right now if you want. I was like, okay. And I didn't do it. My glasses, though, keep falling apart. Michael's fixed them 3 times lately. I've fixed them a few times. I keep losing one screw, and they're starting to slip. They're just so, I am so hard on them. I really need to just get my glasses on. Where do we want to hide our start stop? I think I'm just going to do it right here in the side seam area here. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to top stitch this bib. I'm going to go around it twice right now. And I could start, over here, so I'm catching that first, but this is more convenient right now, the way it's situated. So we're just gonna go for it right here. Four or 5 years, that's awesome. Has Steve Martin done a lot for the banjo community, do you think? Where I used to live in Humboldt, there were a lot of musicians, like bluegrass, old-timey, folk, people who would come through there. So I actually got to see a lot of that style. Why is this corner so weird? It's like at a little angle there. Kind of pushing that lining underneath. Do you play with only stringed instruments? I wanted to play flute, Mullen, but they said, nope, you don't have the right mouth. It's like, oh, okay. Thanks for telling me I'm defective, even though I'm 9 years old. This is a little bit of a problem right here. The nubbin is becoming a problem. Like I said, all right, I'm going to pull it down over. Shove that seam in there. Okay, now we're gonna edge stitch this down. As long as my seam, I think I need to do a little bit of arranging here. Okay. Oof. No. My back stitch is right there. Oi! All right, here we go. Yeah, right? I know, this machine sounds really nice. It sounds different on in the videos, whoops, than it does in person, but it sounds equally good but different. Oh, that's funny, Anna. Yeah, and I wanted to play drums, and my parents said no. They said, if you learn another instrument, we'll let you play drums, but you can't have any, we don't want you just banging on drums. We want you to have some sort of musical sense. And the only instrument in the house was the clarinet, and so that's what I learned too. And I really hated it. No disrespect to the clarinet. It just wasn't my thing. I wasn't interested in anything woodwind related. I wanted to play drums. It's a completely different type of thing, you know. But then I really fell in love with the violin eventually, and that's why I took lessons when I was older. I was always the gigantic person next to all the little kids at the recital, you know. Yeah. Adam Hurt, neat. Yeah, and it was like Andrew Bird was one of the people who got me like definitely motivated to take lessons for the violin. Yeah, right? I did violin. I learned Suzuki. I wanted to learn fiddle eventually, but the teachers that would take me on, a lot of teachers won't take adults on. And it's not, I don't think that they have anything against adults, but a lot of teachers just don't take adults on. And so the teacher I had was a Suzuki method teacher. And then the next like two teachers I had were all Suzuki method. So, but I have a lot of friends who are fiddlers and musicians. It's very popular in Humboldt. Very music-rich community and artists too. These are looking good. Ugh. I can't stress it enough that don't let your project pull against your machine. It is so dangerous. And I'm not the most safety conscious person, but that is one thing. If you're afraid of sewing yourself, don't let the garment pull on the machine. Not to mention you don't want to bend a needle, because that's also another opportunity for a safety issue. So I just try and keep it up on the table. Even if I have to fold it, sometimes I'll roll pants up and then I pin them like that so that they stay out of the way. Got a little thread. Let's get rid of these threads before we're done here. All right. Okay, so we have the pocket on the side, and then we're going to also do a little bit of sewing on the overlap there. Okay, so the pocket is down here. See? Oh, you start with, oh, cool. Yeah, it takes a lot of time for practice. Your hands are small. You know, it's like, who cares? Just let kids do it, right? Like, I think, like, if that's what they want and they're interested, I don't know. I mean, I could see also, like, oh, well, maybe there's an argument for, like, yeah, but if they can't, it's physically harder, they may not stick with it. But they may not, like, they may resent, like I did, the fact that they have to play an instrument they're not interested in. So every professional musician I meet, or one who even just does it, you know, in a band, I always ask them the exact same question. I always say, were you forced to learn to play your instrument? And then whatever they answer, and then I ask, do you regret it? They always say yes and no. They were forced, and they're really glad they were. Okay, this is tricky, but we're in here. So here's this pocket. We just need to finish sewing. And I just need to go along the bottom and up the side. So I've just been trying to make sure I have nothing else under there. It's kind of hard to tell. I want my pocket to also look straight, you know. I'm just going to get it going. And now I'm going to arrange it a little better. Sorry if you can't see it very well. There it is right here. You play flute and a bit of piano too? Oh, neat. That's so cool. Yeah, I bet that would, Justine. And I think fiddle is really conducive to that too. Oof, my hands might be tired after this project. I'm trying to make sure my side seam is flat. I didn't top stitch it or press it. I think I actually should top stitch my side seam. We're going to pull it out. Let's deal with this up here, and then we'll do our pocket. Okay, so good night, Mullen. Have a great weekend. Okay, so here is our little button placket thing we got going on here. Right? That's the juncture down there, and it's okay. It's not crazy ideal. I think I'm going to top stitch this side seam. Like this. Yeah, see, this could be a little better, and so I might stitch across there. I don't know. So the front side seam presses towards the front. I would like it to press towards the back. You win some and you lose some. Can I get it pressed towards the back? What do we think of that? Can I just do it? Oh, you guys, I don't know. Let's see. Oh, we need the hump jumper. I think I just need to stop right here at the bottom. Right here. And we'll take out these stitches right here. Whoa. Okay. I have a friend who played oboe for her college orchestra and band, I think, or something. I can't remember. I know. Yeah, I don't know why that they wouldn't encourage them, but I just remember, like, I would fall asleep during my clarinet lessons. So, yeah. And it was one-on-one. That's not a good sign. See, all right, so when I did this little button flap thing on my other overalls, I made it more like a fly, and I stitched down like a curved fly type of thing. So you could do that. So I think that I'm gonna stitch down right here at this corner, just to kind of reinforce it. This is definitely not how these would be sewn, but at the same time, we're gonna make it look like it's pretty kosher, you know? This is a little thick. Okay, that's one. Whew, okay, put that up there. Everything's going in the garbage can. Oh, really? Yeah, right. I know. Isn't that so sad? He was a pretty older gentleman, and I bet it drove him nuts that I would fall asleep too. I already sewed that. I'm like, that looks just like the one I sewed. It is the one I sewed. I just sit there. Oh man. This one is doing a little better. Look at this one, sits a little bit more away, right? All right, so I'm going to top stitch the edge right here. I'm going to push that down like that. Whoa, that was kind of a big back stitch. All right, and then now I'm just kind of tacking it down right here. I don't know if that's really not necessary, but I want to do it. Ooh, I felt that in my feet. It's so thick. If you can't do this part here, you could probably tack this in a different spot, or even on the inside, or just skip it, really. All right, now I need to decide how I'm going to do the side seam lower down, because in general you usually top stitch a side seam down to the bottom of the hand pocket, right? So it would be top stitched right here. So maybe I'll just do it from the waist down and then not worry about this side seam being twisted right there. Like this. And then we're just going to the bottom of, you can feel your pocket bag. You just go there. Bar tack. Bar tack. Do this side now. This may not be the conventional way to do it, but it doesn't look far from it. And sometimes when you, I don't know if you guys find this too, like sometimes if you just sew it, it's believable, right? It's like almost like when you do something completely different than what the instructions say, like, oh my gosh, I only have enough fabric to do all but one sleeve, so I'm going to do one sleeve in a contrast, and hopefully it doesn't look like I'm trying to, that I ran out of fabric. And then you do it and you're like, oh, it looks like it was always supposed to be like this, you know? It's like once it's sewn, you know. Oh, really, right? No, he said no rivets. He's kind of spooked by the last rivets I put on. They were just too sharp. I got kind of a bad batch of rivets. It was one of the first questions I asked in the guild. It's like, where are you all buying this stuff? Because these are not it, you know? And I've bought them from so many different places. I've bought them from Closet Core, Hearts, Waywack, Joann's, Maker's Fabric. Did I say Blackbird? I think I bought them from them. And one of them had them and they just weren't the same quality. I don't know who it was. I don't think they thought they weren't the same either. So now I just want to know before I do all that work. Okay, so when I just top stitched this, you see what I was talking about? I was worried about it being twisted. So this little seam allowance, it goes towards the bib here. And that's why I was struggling right there. So I just decided not to top stitch it right here And then it can just naturally push over because it wants to anyway. There's so much thickness here. All right, let's finish our pocket and then we're done besides the hems and finishing. So now, this time I'm gonna lay this out from here. Let me lay it out and then I'll show you the pocket. This time I'm gonna put a couple pins. Oh, I threw away my pin cushion. Not on purpose. It's just such a big project. Oh, really? I didn't know there's a term for something so specific. Of course there is. That's really cool. Okay, here's my little pocket here. We had to do this in 2 phases so I wouldn't sew through the front pocket bag. It's hard to keep it all straight, like literally straight, when you're in these tight spaces. Ow! Let's get rid of some of these threads here. I think it's really funny, certain threads, when they're, like if you don't backstitch, they kind of go whoop. It's like as if you had a cowlick, you know, like the threads like stick straight up away from the garment. It might be the threads I'm using, I don't know, but it's really cute. It's funny, little whoop-de-doos. Oh, right, hate corners like this. Darn. All right, we're gonna trim that off. And can I tuck this corner in? Let's see. Oh no. Don't cut it off though. I know that. Am I making this seem harder than it is? Or seem too hard? Sorry. I'm all moaning, complaining. Okay. Yeah, I think that's where I'm at lately too, Nancy. I don't really feel like any of us really need rivets. But we do like looking like store-bought, don't we? Be pretty disappointed if I stitch this leg to something else. It feels like I am stitching it. It's another thing, but I'm not. Okay. No, I don't want to backstitch there. Look at this thread here. I've gotten rid of that thread like twice, I think. All right, we're done. Yeah, that's right, Nancy, you did. Yes, nubbin alert. Yeah, it's like, that's why you don't cut those corners sometimes, man. You end up with nubbins. It's like, they're like the little, you know, angry things that come after you, the little ankle biters. And I'm not saying ankle biters as in small dogs. I was talking about like in video games, it's always the little tiny creatures going after you that are the most menace. Oh, that's good. All right, let's check it out. There's still pins here in the legs. We can get rid of those. I think there's, yeah, here's another pin here. All right, let's see. These look pretty finished. Okay. Okay, here we go. All right. We have our button flap there. All right. Buttonholes go on this one, buttons here. We have our side pocket, double pocket. Let's see if we can get rid of that. A lot of back stitches here. Oh, look at that. I kind of botched it on that little corner there. I may have to get in there and fix that. Didn't line it up with the original. We got our flat filled inseam. We got reinforced knees here. Fake fly hand pockets. Bib for pen, who knows, and glasses. Got our straps. And we have our hammer loop. Do we think I need to reinforce this though right here? I think so, right? This is double stitched. And this side seam goes, so it goes, it's open here, then it pushes to the back here, and then down here it wants to push forward. Do we think, like it's laying pretty nice. Let's see what it looks like on the inside. Let's look at the inside in general. I think that's always helpful when you're trying to figure out how to sew something. I wish more patterns would show you, this is what it's supposed to look like right now, you know? Okay, so here's the front of our fully lined bib. This is what this looks like here. So this is that little button flap here. So this is my side seam dilemma. See, so this is pushed that way, this is pushed open, and then on this side I have this, no, this side is the hammer loop. Let's get rid of all this. This is the hammer loop back here, and it wants to get pressed like this at the hammer loop, like this. That would twist it again. Maybe I would bend it back on itself and secure it. I think that's what I'll do. Yeah, better than Carhartt. Right, thanks. You're sweet. I told my husband, I was like, I went to Tractor Supply and looked at the straps on the overalls today. I didn't look at the price though, because I didn't want to be disappointed. I didn't want to see them for sale for $35. And he was so sweet. He was like, oh no, they're like way more than that. I'm like, I don't think so, right? Like, I think like, I don't want to know how cheap they are. I'm going to make them no matter what. He looked them up. He's like, I just want you to know I looked them up. They're $88. So I was like, okay, that makes me feel better. Okay, so I'm gonna, this hammer loop here, I'm actually gonna bend the seam allowance towards the back because it's already pressed towards the back up here at the side seam of the pocket. And I'm gonna reinforce it. Okay. All right. Anything else I'm forgetting? All right, let's check out our hardware now. That's in the trash too. Here we go. Good thing my trash is almost empty. Well, you know, to be fair, these could be for me, right? You're off the hook. I do think I will make myself a pair of overalls that are full length. I was wondering where you went, Shim. I finished. You want to see? I was just going over all of it, and now I'm about to put the hardware on. But yeah, they turned out great. I'm happy. So yeah, here's the finished look of them. This side's not as nice as the other side. In fact, that's right there. I think I can do this better. It just takes, I'll have to take out quite a few stitches to get that better. Actually, no. You know what I could do is just take out maybe right here, and I'll get this a little nicer. This side looks better. Look at that. This side looks great. All right, so now it's time for the hardware. And so I haven't finished these edges here quite yet, but you could overlock those. All right, so let's look at this. So the deal with 3-bar sliders is that you have to go, is it like this? No. It's a 3-bar slider, but it's also a 3-bar slider where it's not a slider. No. I'll get it. I'll look at the package directions too. I think this is it. And then you go through. Look it out like this. Yeah, this is it. And then you can go through. Okay. So I think that what I'm going to do is poke it through and then hem the end. I feel like I just threaded this in the most complicated way possible. Okay. I didn't really make this strap tapered for very long, so that would be one feedback I would give someone is make sure that the strap that has to go through this is tapered for longer, because look at mine's already flaring out up here. So you see how I had to go back on itself? That secures it. So you have to make sure that you kind of leave yourself a loop right here and then go back through. So you're going, so if this is the right side. So this is the top of your overall thing. This is the back, right? You go under this one, under the bottom one. So You go this way, over this, under here. No. Yeah. No, I'm wrong. I'm wrong. Go through here, over both of these, and then back through onto this one. See that? Let me show you up close. I'll do the other side too. And so now I'm going to hem this now that it's through there. So if you're doing something like, say you're like, oh, I'm going to be clever and I'm going to use webbing, great. However, you might want to make yourself a backstop on the webbing so that the webbing won't kind of do the shimmy, shimmy, Cocoa Pop back through there. And because that happens, webbing can be really strong, but it's also kind of really slippery too. So what you can do is sew it, like make sure your edge is finished, and then sew it like this, back on itself, and edge stitch right here, leaving the webbing sticking up like this. So this is ideally, you have a lot more than I do. I'm going to show you. So what you would do is you would have this hemmed, right? And then you would sew it back on itself like this. So that is one way. You just create this way so that no matter what, it's going to stop when it gets there. All right, so maybe I'll overlock this and then hem it so it's nice and flat. I don't think I want to do a rolled hem like that. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to overlock that. All right, so I'll show you how I did this again. So we go, let's trim this too. These things can be really confusing, and I finally just sat down one day and I'm like, I'm going to learn this really well. But the ones I usually use, it's a 3-bar, and then you are tethering, it's like for a bag, right? And then the strap goes through a loop at the other end, comes back to the 3-bar. And so then that's a different way to do it. And what happens is the strap is sewn to the center thing, and then the other end of the strap goes zoop, zoop, around and goes through the loop and comes back on itself. And then you can the 3-bar slider, that's where that name comes in, because then you can slide it and adjust your bag strap without undoing any of the strap. All right, so we go, I'm pretty sure, under, right? Yeah, so under the top one, top meaning the order of these, under, and then we're going to go through the main part of this buckle down here, right? So there's 2. And then now get yourself a loop right here. And then you're going to go around this middle bar here. So back through there. How was pizza, Terry? Okay, and then now back through. Like this. There we go. Like that. Looks professional. All right, let me overlock these. All right. See, now this would be a good spot to do Terrence's technique if you have it down pat. I'm not going to take a chance because I don't have it down pat, for obviously, right? I'm going to secure my serger tails, though, in a different way. Okay, just make sure I leave a little bit. Ooh. I haven't had any wine in so long. I haven't had anything to drink in so long. Sounds pretty good. All right, so I'm going to sew the serger tails onto themselves. This might be a good place to weave them in, right? Do I have one of those? Oh, yeah, I do. I'm pretty sure I do. Nope, not that. Where's my original? Oh, it's probably at home. One of these will work, right? We'll do Shim's favorite way. I don't know. This is where I don't like is getting the thread tail through the eye of the needle. Oh my gosh, this needle is so old. These don't come undone? Do you go through, do you weave it? I'm gonna like put it in the fabric if I can do whatever I want. I think I'm gonna do this and then I'm still gonna sew it. Okay, this is one of those opportunities to show you what happens when your tail's not long enough. Like this part didn't make it in there, but that's okay. We'll just put the needle in where we want. Right, get it in there, get it closer, the eye closer to the edge of the thread there. And now I pull it through the eye like that. And then I can get it all the way through. All right, that looks nice though. Okay, cool. The 20-pound panini. Oh, this one too, I didn't leave myself much. Oh, I forgot to pull it. Okay. Obviously don't do this very often. And it's funny, like you kind of get used to your needles too, and I've never used this needle and it feels different. It's really sharp though. Phew, okay. Oh shoot. Well, come on. We'll just cut it off. There we go. One more. So what should we do as far, like how much hardware do we want to see? I'm going to do the tack buttons for the overall clasps for sure. This one's kind of a hot mess. Let's do it in here too. I'm kind of losing my steam. It's 2:50, I'm hungry. You can just join the guild and get my SBS on buttons if you need help with that. Let me do my plug on the guild. Okay, I'm gonna pull out a little of this tail like this so I can get it through there this time. There we go. Those do feel pretty secure. Nice and clean too, especially when they're exposed like that. Look, isn't this cool? They tell you fur coats, gloves, and leather, tents, deck chairs, canvas, sacks, bags, and hampers. A needle just for a hamper. Okay. All right, and I'm going to put the tack button kind of like right here. The way I look at it is I kind of want this whole thing on the overall thing, so that it's going to sit right here, right? Like this. All right, I'm going to get the hammer out. Turn down the volume. Let me go get my little pad that I do it on. I still need to hem them too, but I'm just going to do a rolled hem, really simple. I know that these are the right length because I used his pattern, so. Okay, so the where I placed that was like right here, right? Right in that little corner. So it's about right here. And I always make a hole with my awl. And I recommend doing the hole from the back side because you're going to put your tack button in like this, right? And you want to do it from the post side, not the button side. And sometimes what I do, I make sure, try and get this as level as possible, the little tack there, the post. And I hold the fabric, I pull it down to make sure that I can see that the post isn't going to get all wonky. And then be really confident when you're doing this and just whack, you know. I'm gonna do a tiny whack a little bit to get it started, and then I'm gonna really whack it. Like that. And like look behind here, make sure you don't have a gap or that it got bent. It's kind of a shame they never give you a backup, you know, in these packages because things happen. Like this feels kind of like a high post, but you know, you do need it for the overall. All right, and then we can mark this one. Sometimes if I do this, do you guys ever do this? I'm gonna put a little bit of marker right here, right? And then, well, I don't see anything. Why did that marker actually dry on the tack button? Come on. You know that would never happen. It's probably because it's washable. There it is right there. I see it. It is actually there. It was just right there at a juncture of those black stitches. All right, there we go. If you have rivets and tack buttons and you can't tell the difference between the posts for them, the post for the rivet is smooth and the post for the tack button has ridges on it. Like it's like it's threaded. All right, make sure everything is nice and flat. This one actually felt kind of seed in there. All right. They're done, except for the side buttons. I'm excited. A little ASMR for you. Yay. Look at that. Really cute. And I actually have these exact same tack buttons for the sides here. Yay. You can see the slack, a little bit of slack in there for glasses. Ooh. And then we made this fit a Sharpie. Now I have sewing overalls. Now these definitely won't fit me. They look good though. For the first time making these look really good. I'm happy. And then he has, you know, scissor pockets. Look at that, Shim. Scissor pockets. Yay! Okay, chat's a little blurry. Thanks for sewing with me, you guys. Thanks for cheering on all my little projects. Let me get this little thread here. That little thread there. Yeah, these turned out good. Yeah, me too, Shem. Yeah, it's very satisfying, right? Yeah, I'm going to fix those little stitches right there. Because that was where I stopped this one here. And then when I came around this to meet up with it, I did it in the wrong spot. Maybe I could take out this stitch right here. I don't know. Yeah, these turned out good. In flat felled inseam. Just need to do these hems. This is picking up every thread I've cut off of my needle lately. Canvas is the worst for that. It picks up every little piece of lint, you know? We'll do our, look at that. Touch, like literally lint lava right now, big time in my office. Big time. Bye, Delwyn. I'm going to hem these really quick. Glad you're feeling better. It's nice to see you. And have a good rest of your day. I know it's early there. Let's see. Give him a little haircut. Make sure I'm pressing. This is the inseam. Yeah, okay. This is the outseam, so let's start it here on the inseam. Look how nice the inseam looks, nice and smooth. I think I only allowed an inch. So, oh, Shim had this really great trick. Might be able to do it on the other one, Shim. I can't do it here though, this is too thick. I may have to overlock these and stitch them down. That's just too thick right there. But Shim had this really great trick where on, say, a seam like this, you fold it like this, right? And then where it folds, you clip that, right? And then you flip it over here so that the seam allowances, or you get rid of it. You clip it off, right? And then this sits right in there. And it's in the guild. You'll have to look at it, but it's pretty clever. Get the seam allowance here. Yeah, I'll just overlock them and turn it up and top stitch it down. And I'll do a double needle top stitch again, or, you know, 2 rows. To kind of mimic everything else, and that'll make it nice and flat, because I don't really like sergers down there at the bottom. They get snagged on things, you know. So I don't know. Canvas is definitely a lint picker-upper. Oh, you just flip it. Oh, okay. Yeah, so then you clip it right here wherever this is going to end up. So it'd be right here, right? You'd mark here, and you'd mark right Wait. Yeah, you'd mark there too. And then you clip that seam allowance, flip it there, and then when you hem it, this seam allowance nestles in there. Yeah, that's so smart. All right, you guys. Well, this was fun. I don't think I'll be live next week. I'm not Stop it. I'm not supposed to be, but I do have a project for Mother's Day that I need to do, and I just may do it the week after, and it's the SPF shirt. The other thing I was thinking is I might just do it in the guild and not do it here. So we'll see. I had a whole scheme that I was going to stream 5 days a week in May for Me Made May, and I'm backed off of that. I'm going to do that for when my 500th video is about to be, like, around that timing. So that'll probably be around my, like, yearly anniversary. So I'll probably do that in August instead. Do, like, a month-long thing. I think it'd be fun. And then next month, I don't know what I'm sewing yet. I'm sorry. I'm going to do, I don't know if I'll do that as a stream, though. So we'll see. It's like Me Made May. I had this whole big thing, and then I was like, you know what? I'm not going to do that. So, all right. At both folds. Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah, Shem. Yeah, both folds. I knew I saw that, and I was like, gosh, now I'm looking at it, I can't imagine it's both folds. It's like maybe somewhere else, but yay. Thanks, you guys. Look how cute these are. Woo, woo. We learned a lot. I need to write some notes probably. Did I change any pattern pieces? I don't think I did. I don't need to change any pattern pieces that way. Okay, good. All right. Have a great weekend, you guys. I will see you soon. Maybe I'll do an uploaded video next week. And if you're in the guild, I'll see you there. If you're interested in the guild, check it out, sosoguild.com. It's really nice. I've actually heard from a few people that they've stopped using Instagram because of it. It's a little more chill. And if you just want to talk about sewing, there's people in there that want to listen. You can ask a question. You can say, I'm having trouble with this. I don't know how to do this. Where do I buy this? Anyone find this fabric? I'm looking for this pattern. I don't know how to do this technique. What do you guys think is going on with the back of my garment here? There's even a chat that's ongoing that you can just chat in there. But it is really cool. Yeah, Libby, nice. That's your last thing until June. Thanks, Terry. So that's the link right there. You don't have to put www in front of it or anything. Just sosoguild.com. I don't know why it's not showing up as a link for some reason. Like a link to click. So Libby, how do you feel about that? Do you think, that doesn't come up as a link. Maybe YouTube chat doesn't recognize that. I think if you put, maybe, I'm going to check it out. Let's see. Let's try this. No, I don't want that. Oh, you can, you just don't need the www. That's what it is. There we go. So Libby, I'm curious. So Libby's pledge is she's not going to sew anything in May. She's going to evaluate. I can't remember her whole pledge. Sorry, Libby. But you're not sewing anything in May. So at first, I feel like I got the vibe from you that you were like, oh my gosh. Oh, I did forget the D. But it didn't come up as a hyperlink. That was the problem. That's what I was... So at first, I feel like you gave the vibe where you were like, you know, that makes me kind of nervous not to get to sew anything in May. But now that you don't have to sew anything in May, how do you feel? Do you feel kind of like, ooh, this frees me up to do whatever? Yeah, she's upcycling, reworking, I think, and evaluating. I don't know. I think that's interesting. You're excited. You're going to go deep into all the handmade clothes. I already have. I think it will bring you appreciation. That's awesome. Yeah, I feel like sometimes when I'm nervous about that, and then I'm like, well, now I'm freed up, you know? So I need to do a pledge too. I was going to pledge that my pledge was going to remind people that Me Made May is not about posting your makes every day. You can, it's fine, but that's not the intent behind it. So if you don't like that, you don't have to do that. So that was my pledge. So I think that's it. If you guys are in the guild and you have workshop next week, I'll see you next week. Looking forward to it. I love seeing how your progress on things, and have a great weekend. Happy May. See you in the live stream. I'll probably do some uploaded videos soon, so watch for that. And yeah. All right, bye.